So we do have lots of new developments tonight to report in the Delphi murders case. Just late this afternoon, the Indiana Supreme Court announced that it is now reinstating Richard Allen's original defense team.
Now, Richard Allen's accused of murdering teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German nearly 7 years ago. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Segall was in the courtroom for the hearing today and joins us now in studio. So explain what this decision means.
Well, what this order from the Supreme Court means is basically the case can now move forward. It's been pretty much at a standstill for several months. Attorneys for Richard Allen asked the Supreme Court to do three things: reinstate Allen's original defense team that was kicked off the case, replace the judge with a new one, and set a speedy trial date. The Supreme Court denied two of those requests. So Francis Segall remains the judge, and for now, no speedy trial. But justices did agree to reinstate Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin. Those attorneys were kicked off the case back in October after Judge Gall accused them of negligence. But during today's court hearing, some justices said they didn't see any evidence of negligence. And Chief Justice Loretta Rush made it clear she doesn't think the judge should have kicked the original defense team off the case in the first place, especially since those are the attorneys that Richard Allen wants to represent him.
He wants these attorneys, and so we're spinning and spinning and spinning on this, saying delay and this, but he wants these attorneys. There's not been these findings with regard to incompetence. There's a lot of words out there, but let him have his attorney. Get this case back. Let him have his attorneys. He wants to privately hire them. I'm really struggling with why he can't make that decision that's in his best interest and get this case moving again.
Rosie and Baldwin are now back on the case, and the Supreme Court also ordered that they be reinstated as court-appointed public defenders. They had offered to represent Allen for free if needed, but the Supreme Court thinks they should get paid. Late this afternoon, Allen's civil attorneys sent 13 News a reaction to the court's verdict. Attorney Kara Weinecke says, on behalf of Richard Allen, Mark Lehman and I are very pleased with the court's order today and with how quickly the court issued a decision. I spoke with Rick's wife earlier, and she is happy and relieved that Rick's attorneys have been reinstated. So, lots of developments in the court today, and now reaction pouring in after the Supreme Court issued its decision.
Yeah, and those are big decisions. You know, reinstatement of the original defense team. The attorney or the judge, who is the special appointed judge out of Allen County, remains presiding over the case. And yet, despite that, that's not the only new developments in the case today. There was big news that happened right before that.
Yeah, right before today's court hearing, the prosecutor filed a motion to amend the charges against Richard Allen. In the new filing, he wants to add felony murder and kidnapping charges against Richard Allen. The prosecutor says these four charges come from the same evidence that was used in the initial murder charges. 13 News legal expert Katie Jackson-Lindsay explained that the judge will have several considerations before deciding if these new counts should be allowed.
The judge is going to have to make a decision as to whether or not it does sort of change the state's theory and therefore requires the defense to pivot in some way and adjust their theory, or go back and do additional discovery and therefore further delay the proceedings.
So we now know who will be representing Richard Allen. We know who will be presiding over the trial. That trial was originally scheduled to begin this month, but because of all the drama between the judge and the defense team, it has since been moved back to October. It remains to be seen if Allen's attorneys will again ask for things to be moved up, because his attorneys claim he's already lost his right to a speedy trial.
Yeah, you got to think those defense attorneys
Right.
and the judge have got some mending offenses to do to proceed on this case here.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they all work together, if they are able to work together as this case proceeds.
Yeah, it's
All right,
been
Bob.
tough going. All right, thanks so
Thank you.
much, Bob. And we've been tracking this story ever since Abby and Libby disappeared almost 7 years ago. You can find the timeline of the case and all of our coverage right now by going to our website at WTHR.com/Delphi.